Business loans for bad credit, instant approval. Do they exist? Where can you go get them if they do? Where do you go and apply? And so much more will be revealed in this video. Hi, my name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions. And in this one video, I will comprehensively show you everything you need to know about getting a bad credit business loan. What is out there in this vast ocean? What are your expectations, and a lot more. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with content like this on the channel on all types of small business loans, building business credit, taking advantage of different opportunities. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Let's get right into this. So up here is where we're at. Our expectations are at the top. Think of it like as we're looking at the sky and the clouds are above us and we see these perfect cloud shapes. We even see a figure in it. You know, it almost feels like the words business loan is appearing to us, or you need help, SOS, right? Because that's the position we're in. I want you to fully have confidence with safety and security that you will finally be able to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch. That's what this video here is for. So also stick with me till the very end, because I'm going to be showing you where you can get instant approval, same day funding, unlike no other. I'm going to be getting on the share screen for that. But we're up here, SBA loans, traditional bank loans, even these business lines of credits, right, that you can even get through them. They're asking like a 680 and above. And you're over here battling in the poor, the bad, the fair, and even in times the good range, right? And just below that good range, a lot of us fall into. And it limits us. We can't get these SBA loans. We tried, we can't get them. We can't get the PPP loans. And perhaps you can, but maybe you just weren't approved, or there's some other places in that you couldn't push through. And I have content on all this, just so you guys know, on PPP loans, SBA, EIDL, targeted advance, all SBA grants, startup funding that I'll link to down below in the description so you guys can view more of all that. But we're over here now just struggling, and our expectation is, hey, why are we getting these types of interest rates? Why is our rate like this? Why is our total payback, our factor rate? Why does it come out to be that way? Well, if you had greater FICO credit scores, is what we look at a lot of the time, then perhaps we can talk about getting you something better. And in a lot of this, you're going to see FICO being asked for. If you try to go around that, it's very minimal unless you're trying to build business credit, which I highly recommend you do. Building business credit where you can get access to over $250,000 in funding that's not tied to your social security number or your personal credit score. I'll leave a free video series for you down below in the description, so pick that up. And this is the problem. And a lot of us business owners have the expectation that we need to get this amount of funding. So we say we're doing this amount in sales, but we want this amount of funding, and it just won't ever match because your credit score, one, your revenue, time in business, and other factors that we look at in bank statements, and so much more that we need on our side. And this is stuff that I help with a lot of the time. And if you want to get help before I continue forward, I have a free funding submission form down below in the description. You'll click that page. It'll bring you to a submission form, fill out some simple funding details. It'll come to my email, confidential between you and I. And then I will be able to email you back with your results, your options, the best one. It's very thorough, comprehensive, personalized, and customized, unlike anywhere else. You don't get these with other places, online marketplaces that just waste your time. They keep hassling you and harassing and don't stop. I won't do that. That's all down below. So make sure you fill that out for business, for real estate financing, and more. Now, what options are on the table if you can't get these? And now that we know a little bit about where we come from on the play of what we want in funding amount versus what we're doing in monthly sales. And so we have short-term business loans. That's one solution. And in this world, we would like to call them like merchant cash advances. There are other specific ones, but for the most part, there are short-term, medium, and long-term. Medium and long-term usually are out of the picture. Long-term meaning 2 to 5 or so years, and then long-term can be like 5 to 10 plus years or so. It kind of changes and varies depending on the lenders, programs, et cetera. But short-term, usually you're looking at from 4 to 24 months, a lot of cases. And then you see some that are like less, to 18 months, to 4 to 6 months. And it depends on the category that you fall into. You can be more of a high risk, so we have to fill you in this bucket of 4 to 6 months. Maybe you don't have the right revenue, so it's 4 to 6 months and a few other things. But if you have more revenue, and which definitely helps when you're trying to get a business loan online through a merchant cash advance. What is that, by the way, a merchant cash advance when you're thinking? Well, you can qualify for certain programs, and I'm going to show you in a bit. They can get you as low in as 450 plus FICO. That's very low, right? That is a great thing for you. Now, with revenue wise, do we qualify? We can qualify you with as little as 5,000 plus per month within each of the last 3 months. So we look at consistency. And if you have a low month below 5,000, it likely wouldn't work. In these short-term solutions, 4 to 24 months, you'd pay them back right away. You would have expectations thinking that this would be monthly, but a lot of cases are daily/weekly. And this is how you build it. So if you have bad credit and you're trying to get a longer term, that won't work because your criteria doesn't fit that. And you're trying to be less flexible and you want these monthly payments. That's not always on the table. It doesn't work that way, especially when you're working with private lenders who are trying to give you their money and they're not sure they're getting their money back. So you have to be open to that. And a merchant cash advance, more specifically, is where we're looking at the amount of credit card receivables, transactions you have if you're taking credit card processing and all that into account. 3+ deposits, the more the better. And what's happening is you're being taken away a future percentage of your credit card sales and even debit card receivables. So for example, you make a certain amount of sales in one day, it's higher, then you get taken out a little bit more. If you get a day where it's less, you get taken less, and so forth. And these are terms and rates that factor rates, usually what they're called. And then we have a hybrid. So stick with me. We have a hybrid. I'm going to show you in a moment where we don't take into account those credit card transactions. We don't take a percentage of your future credit card sales. It's generally 50% less expensive, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. Like I said, the 4 to 24 months, there's same day instant approval, which I'm going to get into. I know that's what you're here for, but stick with me. There's some other ones out there. You have also a business line of credit hybrid. You can get these lines of credits where instead of getting a lump sum of working capital, like a business loan/cash advance, you can get a certain amount approved for and take out as much as you want when you need to use it. So if, for example, you get approved for 30,000, you can take out 10,000 and you only pay on the principal and on the interest. There's possibly a withdrawal fee, or if there's no withdrawal fee, you're doing this long term or you want like a line of credit for a long time, maybe there's a monthly fee associated to that. So that's a great advantage. Usually you see 6, 9 to 12 month terms, and that's what's given for a lot of the time. Sometimes you can see more, but depends on what you can qualify for, and it's not always that case. So you, like I said, you have those short-term business loans/merchant cash advances. You have those business lines of credit that are on the table, and business lines of credit less than being instant approval, as more as the other options that I've already given you. And you also have collateralized type of loans. So these aren't always instant approval. So you're required to give up some kind of collateral, right? In return, you get the secure business term loan or a business loan. And these are common. Not everybody goes for them, but you'd be able to give up something in return. You can get funding. You can do things like invoice factoring, invoice financing in that direction, perhaps even equipment financing, but that's not always instant approval. And you can get them depending on the company, if they're even accepting bad credit. If that's the case, then they have a certain revenue, maybe a little bit higher. So you have to take that into account. Now, I'm going to get into the share screen here so you guys can stop watching me. I know you guys are like, who's this guy? Well, keep watching it. Now, over here is a company called David Allen Capital Link, where you can get up to 2 million incredibly fast within a day of approval funds deposited into your account, within a day to 2, as much as a week, depending on your profile and what we have to look through in your file. But it's very fast. It's not a traditional merchant cash advance. This is a hybrid company that I was talking about, generally 50% less expensive. They can give you 4 to 6 months or 4 to 24 months. 4 to 6 months is their up to 25K same day instant approval funding program. This is like the jackpot of why you're here today. And this is where you can get incredibly fast funding with just 5,000 plus monthly in bank revenue, a business checking account, 6+ months in business, a 450 plus FICO credit score is all that's asked for. All industries are welcomed. Payment history will earn you more. Receive funds time and time again. Add-on funds are available. You get a personalized account manager, so you don't have to feel like a lone wolf going at this all alone. And I know how predatory it can feel when you're not sure about a company, and then they tell you, here's what you're expected. Here's what you need to do. But like I said, we set our expectations already in a bit. where we're not giving so much flexibility with lower credit to say what type of interest or what type of rate. We calculate here on total payback, no interest rates. And it's much less confusing, and it's more effective, costly, okay? And we're talking economically and everything as well. So this is one of my #1 recommended places. It'll be down below. You can watch video content on them, the Bank Breezy, and we also have the business capital side of things where you can get up to 2 million. And the other one I showed you just now was up to 25,000, different qualifications for those. And then we also have a line of credit program. This one is where you can get at the moment from 5,000 to 100,000. That may be extended in time when you're watching this, but this is a great solution to get into. So you can receive a decision in 1 to 2 business days, requiring only a soft credit pull as low as a 550 FICO credit score. So again, lines of credit, you can withdraw and use it whenever you need. For the most part, you'll see a 600 FICO credit score is what a minimum is. We can be more flexible here, and we can give you between 150 to 200% of your monthly sales. Usually we average it or we take the lowest amount. And that's kind of what we have in terms of flexibility. It can be more or less, and also depending on your file. Better fee structure, you can usually have lower interest rates. You're just having a revolving line. You pay for that 10,000 you take out of a 80,000 you get approved for, goes back into the account as revolving. It replenishes that 80K. It doesn't go from 80 to 70. As long as you pay it back, we give you the time. And you'll understand more about how all this works down below in the description. You can view a specific video I made for this line of credit program through the David Allen Capital link, and my recommendations as well as other lines of credit programs. But this is as far as I'm going to go. They also do customer financing, payment processing, and a lot more. But if you are interested in getting one of these bad credit loans and have instant approval, then I recommend going through the company here, David Allen Capital link, specifically Bank Breezy. And what your expectations are. I'm going to show you in that video what are the total payback amounts, how we calculate these rates, and it goes more into detail that I can't explain in here. But the bottom line is when you have bad credit, maybe you're just even in the good range at times, it doesn't give you, and we have to look at everything: bank statements, the amount of deposits, bank balances with remaining, starting, what are you withdrawing, how many deposits, right? A lot goes into that you guys don't know. So when you get an offer, don't feel like you're blindsided. Communicate that with me. That's what I do with everybody who comes through and gets business funding with here and with anybody else, any other lender, brokerage, etc. It's going to be very helpful to you to know. But you know this option is on the table. And this is like my #1 recommended place to come to. You can get a line of credit if you qualify for it. And I'll show you some more options on that. But let's recap. We talked about the bad credit loans. We're talking about short-term solutions. They can vary from like 4 to 6, 4 to 24 months, depending on what you can qualify for. They categorize in a way as a merchant cash advance. There's also a hybrid, like I showed you today, generally 50% less expensive, and it's much better, I believe. You have even some of these, like I didn't even get into startup/personal loans, but they require different looks, and then it's not always instant. And then you have the business lines of credit. They're not as instant, but they can get you approved really quickly. So it's just as fast. And then you have the equipment financing side of things, which I didn't get into in this video, but that can take a little bit of time as well. But depending on the program, it can be bad. A lot of the times it isn't, depending on the industry as well. I know in the trucking world, it can be a little bit higher, but usually you see those a little bit more. And then just some collateralized loans, you know, invoice financing, invoice factoring, type of secured business term loan that's short, you give up something and so forth. But that will conclude everything from me in this video. Look for all the rest of the content down below. Oh, and also, like I said in the beginning, I have this funding form right here on my website. If you guys go to viralfundingsolutions.com, you can learn more of the legitimacy and how we're taking the world by storm, because we don't appreciate too much people getting harassed, getting phone calls and getting text after text. And like these online marketplaces you submit information to, and they're dispersing all your information to like every lender or every online program, and then you're getting calls from everywhere. You might get a good offer, they might have good intentions, they might have some good ones, but they don't really have them all that are best, and you have to be careful. So I give you more of a personalized, customized approach, and it'll look something like this down below in the description, more or less, might be a little bit different in time. And I also have this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, so you can stay in the know before you go into an application. You know, with 110% confidence and certainty that you will be approved without wasting time. We're talking about days, weeks, months, and even years of sifting through old, outdated information, stuff that just doesn't work, theory-based, people trying to scam you. This is up to date and it's very legitimate. I have your best interest at heart. I would like to get to know you more than just on a business level, not a transaction to me. I want to get to know you on a more of a personal level if you open up like that. And, I really want to help you get to understand what I can do best for you and pair you up with the best lenders. And because on this channel, and what I've said to anybody else is, I give you all this raw footage, stuff that I have knowledge on of all the time, especially, being in business. I get it. I know the struggles trying to get business funding. It is hard trying to find a program here that lets you down. You probably got funding through them, but they cheaped you out. Something happened. I've been through all that. It sucks. And I don't want you to have to go through that damage. And if you have already, let's repair that. But I reveal things that I get to know a lot about with underwriters, as I have good relationships with lenders, and you get behind the scene footage on all this on this channel and my blog and so much more. So that'll conclude everything from me. Look for all the resources down below to get in an application, see if you qualify, pick up these free resources, fill out a free funding submission form. This will be one of the fastest ways for me to get a hold of you. And I'll have all my stuff down below, like email, social media handles, and more content for you to deliver. That will be everything from me. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Talk to you soon. Bye.